Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Concerned Citizen. Boy, has it been a week. Actually, to tell you the truth, when you look back even farther, it's been a freaking couple of months. Very exhausting. My blood pressure is going crazy. The recent kind of assassination attempt on Trump, crazy. I would not wish him any harm. I've seen some pretty disgusting comments just like from people of saying like, hey, I wish that, he did in fact get hurt or beyond hurt, right? I have not seen any Democratic politician echo those sentiments. And this kind of leads me to discussing, the shooter has been identified as someone who's registered Republican. Right now, they're also saying he donated to $15 to Progressive Movement Democratic back in 2021. He was described by friends or people that knew him as someone who was conservative or moderate right. So it's very unusual to determine what the motive was here. More information to come about it. I think that the hate that has been spewed, when they're talking about blaming Democrats, J.D. Vance was just announced as Donald Trump's vice president. And if you want any clarification to get back on track with, let's say, politics and where we are headed in the presidential election and who you want to vote for, again, it's your choice. I'm just expressing my choice. I would still not vote for Trump. There was a lot of people concerned, like, hey, this guarantees Trump the win with the assassination attempt. And I don't want to think that, because I still think that there's really bad policies on Trump's side with Project 2025. And I saw comments in my last video I posted where someone said, "Show me the receipts." And, well, in Project 2025, it talks about expanding the executive branch. You just had the Supreme Court rule that Donald Trump has immunity for official acts. Huge expansion of executive power. The other thing that you have is in regards to the abortion rights. They overturned Roe versus Wade, called right out in Project 2025. Right now he's saying to state rights. I don't believe him. I think it's going to expand it even further. So that is crazy as well. So there's two examples right there, right? And then, of course, as having people who lean towards you politically in your office and surrounding you, well, you just had Judge Eileen Cannon rule that Trump's documents case was dismissed, and she had really no kind of legal bearing to do so, because she's saying that the special counsel of the prosecutor being assigned to Kate is the reason why she's overturning it. So really crazy. I mean, everyone who says that Trump has, everything, a target on his back, well, his actions have put a target on his back as far as like legally. I do not think that, let's say, him being shot at is correct. So excuse the terminology of target on his back, but I think that what I'm saying here is that Trump actions have put more attention towards him, and he is suffering the consequences legally of those actions because of that. Not any special treatment. Now, the special treatment actually comes into that the Supreme Court ruling and this judge's ruling, and Trump just keeps getting away with it because he has power, he has money, and that's really unfortunate. A lot of people have said, hey, and especially J.D. Vance has said, hey, this shooting is Biden's fault because of him using that democracy's at stake and that very strong language. But let's take a step back here and look at the rhetoric that comes out of the right. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene, like I said in the past, said that, hey, Nancy Pelosi committed treason. And you know what the consequences of treason are? She said death. So that's really terrible. You have Kevin Roberts of the Heritage Foundation, who said, basically, this could remain bloodless if the left allows it to be. Not the same rhetoric on the Democratic side. After the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, Democrats came out and condemned that. Biden came out and condemned that and said there's no place for violence in our political atmosphere, or just in general in the United States. So, really crazy. I'm happy that, for one, that I'm able to kind of take a step back, because a lot of people were saying, hey, this guarantees Trump the victory now that he was attempted assassination. But now when you take a look at the policies that he has, I think that you're left with like, well, look at all these policies. Look at the people that he selected. He selected a vice president who, you know, instead of like other politicians focusing on like, oh my gosh, look what happened, we need to stand united, blamed Biden. So look at the people that he surrounds himself with, and of course look at his actions. You know, Democrats are being accused of not having a spine, and luckily AOC is one of the Democrats that looks like does have a spine, because she filed articles of impeachment against 2 Supreme Court judges for their actions, which I think is a correct decision. It's obviously very politically motivated. They did not step down or recuse themselves. They've accepted funds and money, which makes it very questionable in regards to why they wanted to stay as part of this case and how they potentially ruled. You can't, unfortunately, impeach them for their ruling, but the questionable behavior, I think, is a reason to have them investigated and impeached, in my opinion. So you look at the shooter and you see that Thomas Matthew Crooks is a registered Republican. Individuals describe him as leaning towards right or center right. And it still doesn't make sense in regards to the motive. You know, you have individuals like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, blaming also the Democrats, and along with J.D. Vance and Lauren Boebert. But look all the hate that they spew out there. And I think that we really have to think about this toxicity, that these politicians are not willing to step up to the plate to be leaders. I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene has a leadership bone in her body, nor does Lauren Boebert, and I'm questioning J.D. Vance as well. That these are individuals that, to be honest, should not be in politics in a leadership position, because what they did during this tragedy, I just don't agree with. So, as far as Republicans versus Democrats in regards to how their reactions are and the political rhetoric that is leading towards this intense environment, it's mainly coming from Republican side. And I'm talking about politically, right? The politicians, because I can't comment on individuals who are leaving comments in these terrible memes. So I just want to differentiate here, because there are people who indicate themselves as left who I don't agree with some of the posts that they have put out there and the memes. So, you know, it's crazy. I just think that the right has to be careful about what they're putting out there. It's very toxic. As we get into more policies, I see clearly that I do not want to vote for Donald Trump. I'm still 100% not voting for him. I think this kind of squashes what has happened with the debate for Biden and the criticism right now. I do still think it's an area that the Republicans can focus on, because it is a weakness of Biden's. But I think on character, morality, and policy, I think that is going to be something that Biden hopefully can speak to better, because I think that is a clear area where he is stronger, to be honest. I mean, I saw an article that said that our interest that we pay in our debt for the United States is equivalent to the military budget, which is crazy. So we definitely need to get rid of the deficit. And some people go, well, look at Biden. How's he doing that? Well, when negotiating drug prices, right, down, it reduced how much they spend for Medicare. So that's one way to reduce the budget. If we can expand that negotiation to other areas. And some people are going to say, well, it's going to hurt businesses. Well, I'm sorry. We just saw examples that lots of businesses are intentionally leaving their prices high, even though they don't need to, and they're reporting record profits. You have Elon Musk, who just got $56 billion in a pay package. One person out of the entire company getting that much pay, right? So how terrible could these companies be doing? You can lower prices. And you have Trump, who's a businessman, of course. The business mentality is, how do I keep on making profit? Part of the stock market, it's part of our capitalist society. I understand. So you can't have that in a political environment of like how he is going to make out, right? Just like the interest of myself of like, what do I get out of this? Well, you have to think about, what do the American people get out of this, and what is in the best interest for the American people. Like me just giving more stuff to the billionaires and the rich people, how's that helping me? I think there's lots of areas we can focus on. Biden in his speech, which I just took notes of what people said, I have to listen to it, in Detroit, said that he wants to focus on medical debt, which is a huge thing, increase the federal minimum wage, which is a $7.25, ridiculous, needs to be raised, right? And wants to focus on housing and also these companies that buy all these housing, and wants to reduce rent increases to no more than 5%. And we see many places, and especially like as people move and relocate to these other areas, they're increasing the rent prices a lot, and people are losing their homes and being kicked out of their apartments because they can't afford it. So all those policies I 100% agree with. Like, I was like, yeah, we need to deal with this. We need to tackle this. Project 2025 and Trump's, I just don't see how that's going to work. I'm personally reading it. There's lots of filler information that explains like how the government works. So I'm trying to get through those parts. It's 900 pages. I mean, who knows if I'll get through all this, but I plan to do a future video about this. I feel like I'm ranting. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're all stressed. I am stressed. I can't stop watching YouTube videos and just the news, and it's gotten me really sick. I'm fortunate that I went to the movies over the weekend to decompress, distracted myself. I saw Long Legs. It was okay. But I felt good afterwards that the next day I saw Something Happy, and I was just like, it felt so good to decompress. And today it felt great just to focus on work, to be honest, because just focusing on something politically, it's just really sad and really stressful. I felt terrible for the people that were at the rally, and I think that's the number one important thing to remember. Just because we disagree, when you saw the people there and you see them talking to the camera, I felt for them, like as a fellow American and like just as a neighbor of what they're going through. I felt like giving them a hug, for that terrible experience they had to endure. I may not agree with you politically, but I can empathize and feel terrible that you experienced such a traumatic situation. Someone watched their family member die, and others were injured and traumatized. There was children there. So, very terrible situation. And I think that is, for me, what being a liberal and progressive really represents, of like, how can we increase our empathy for each other? How can we help each other out in this? How can we prevent those who just keep on getting things from being the only individuals that benefit? How do we give more opportunities for those who are cut off financially and resource-wise an opportunity to participate in the American dream? So that's what I view on the progressive and liberal side. And maybe there's lots of areas and for Republicans people agree with, but I don't know. I think that if you're concerned about Trump getting elected, I think let's focus on what is coming out of the right and Project 2025 and the policies. I think that we can not wish harm on him, but it's okay to disagree and not want him to be president if you're feeling that way. And for those that support Trump, if you do, here's my wish. If Trump is in office, that he is president for everybody, that he's trying to make the world and the United States better for everyone, not specific individuals because of who they are or their economic status. That's what I hope. And I hope that his intentions are just not for personal gain or just for his circle's gain. So he's thinking outside of it, like, how can the American people benefit? I don't want the American people just to be benefiting just as a byproduct. Like, oh, you got something nice out of this? That's nice, but guess what I got? And you're like, you go to a party and someone goes, hey, here's a slice of cake for the birthday girl. And they go, oh, you can have an apple, but a very tiny apple that's dehydrated. You're like, well, I did get something. And everyone else is like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm getting crap. And I should be happy about that. When I vote, I'm just going to leave this off. When I vote, I am not only thinking about what personally benefits me. If somebody is suffering because of my vote, and then I mean intentionally so, because of policies that spew hate or take away rights from individuals, I am not going to vote for that. Even if, let's say, financially this is a personal gain for me, I'm going to be like, you know what? Somebody's losing something and it's hitting them hard and they're getting less than what they had before. I can't do it unless you're a millionaire, because like they say, hey, you're paying your fair share of taxes, the percentage. Well, yeah, you're paying more. You lost something, but guess what? You're still well-to-do. So that's a different situation. Sorry for my ramble. Leave comments, like, subscribe. Tell me what you think. What are you doing to decompress? Because, like, I need to watch a movie, to be honest. I couldn't put up with this. I plan to do a video for Project 2025. I also plan to do videos that are non-political. Just talking about little stuff, life experiences, crazy things about prices, rents, maybe Chipotle, I don't know. Just something to decompress, because I know that for me, it's very stressful. It's a situation I would not want to be. I'd rather be frozen and just wake me up. Let me cast my early ballot in September and then just wake up after the election, because I don't think what else I could put up with. I've even been turning to, keeping you longer. I've been even turning to psychics and tarot readings just for signs, and they've been very mixed. Some say, hey, Trump's going to win. Hey, they're going to replace Biden with Gavin Newsom. Oh, and July 25th, there's going to be a huge kind of event for Japan. All these things that they're saying. That's just one person saying, hey, Trump's going to win. You're going to see that Gavin Newsom's going to replace Biden. And you're going to see that in July 25th, around there's going to be a large event for Japan. And then you have other people say, hey, Biden's going to win. So you get very mixed messages. And sometimes I feel like you can really tell, like, when someone is not being honest. Because a lot of people are saying, like, hey, this was staged and fake, which I do not believe. I don't think that, though I disagree with Trump, I don't see evidence right now where it is planned. I also don't see evidence on the other side where people are saying that Biden intentionally targeted. I don't see any evidence of that. So I think it's very dangerous, some of the grounds that people are going down. And so when I see the psychics and stuff, or so-called psychics and tarot card readers or astrologists saying this was specifically planned, I'm like, well, I don't see any evidence. Or people saying, hey, Trump didn't really get shot. I mean, I don't see any evidence right now. I can always change my opinion based on if evidence supports that, but right now I don't see anything. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating. All right, let you go. Again, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I hope you're all doing well, even if you disagree with me, okay? As a fellow American, I wish the best for you. I wish the best for anybody who even is not an American. I just want you to have peace, love, and happiness in your life. It's something I wish for myself every day and those who I do not know. I just know there's lots of suffering in the world. One day I will share, the experiences that have motivated me down the path of being a Democrat and progressive, just life experiences. And I think that they could be very similar to people who side with Republicans, just see a different path forward. So, again, it's okay to disagree with me. Let's be respectful for each other. I disagree with Trump. I don't think he has best intentions. That's my opinion. You may think that, hey, Biden's the worst person. I think there's a few examples of things that I don't agree with Biden. Yes. But we're given this binary choice, unfortunately, and this is what we have to work with. Take care. Bye.